What is going on, guys? The hype is real. I am going to be revealing exclusively today on my channel the next update for Modern Combat 5, which is one of the biggest updates we have ever seen in a very long time. We're talking about a new class called the Morph class. We are getting our first girl character in the game, which is just absolutely awesome. Let me tell you what this chick can do. The first thing is, I gotta say this, I'm a huge X-Men fan, and this girl, Morph, reminds me so much of Mystique because she can morph into other players. Stay tuned, I'm gonna talk about how that works. First, let's talk about the weapons. It's just like Bounty Hunter. What that means is there's different types of weapons in the class. You're going to have your submachine guns, your light machine guns, your snipers, your assault, all within the one class. And as you can tell from the screenshot, the weapon kind of looks the same, but it builds on itself depending on the tier of weapon that you have, like a tier 1 versus tier 5, which is really cool. So it's kind of like the same weapon, but it looks, I don't know, it just kind of builds on itself depending on the tier that you're using. So that's pretty cool. Now, what happens by default? You get this right when you get the class. When you kill somebody, you get a buff, depending on the person you kill and the weapon they're running. So I'm going to give you a few examples. First, let's go ahead and read the description. The X1 Morph class. As a Morph, you will automatically pick up your victim's weapons and integrate their top characteristics into your arsenal. So basically how this works is when you kill somebody, you are going to get a buff. Doesn't matter if you kill somebody right next to you or you kill somebody across the map, you are going to get a buff. The buff is going to depend on the weapon that they're using, and we'll explain that in a second. You can cancel these enhancements by simply tapping on them. New ones will be picked up when defeating enemies. So if you don't like the buff that you got, you can cancel it out, and the next person you kill, you'll get that buff. What determines the buff is the weapon they're running. For example, over here on the right, we've got LMG. Magazine size is increased. If you kill somebody using a support class weapon, you're going to get an increased magazine size. If you kill somebody using a sniper weapon, you're going to get increased bullet damage at long range. If you kill somebody with an experimental weapon, that increases armor penetration. A few more examples over here that we'll go over. SBR, I believe that is the sapper weapons is SBR. You'll get a faster rate of fire when you kill somebody with sapper class. Handgun. You get an increased reload speed if you kill somebody using handgun. Rocket or heavy class if you kill somebody using a noob tube, you get additional damage resistance. So these do stack on top of each other to a point. Now that's going to sound overpowered at first, but there's only a certain amount of slots. For example, at tier 3, you would only have one primary slot and a secondary slot. So that's only 2 buffs that you would get. At tier 5, you would have 1 primary and 2 secondary slots, so that's 3 buffs that you can get. So it is limited, pretty crazy. So that is so cool. It just picks up their attribute, and the way that's going to look is when you kill somebody, it's just going to see, you're just going to see this thing fly out of them into you, and it's automatically going to pick up that attribute from the weapon they're using and integrate it into your arsenal and buff you up as a player. Also, the weapons are modular. What that means, as it says here, it always provides the power-up that best suits your weapon. So you're going to get buffed the best thing that's going to suit your weapon. Now we're going to talk about the class itself. We're going to go through every perk you can unlock using the skill points in the Morph class. Now the first one we already talked about, that's where you get the buff to the weapon. There's 2 slots there, so you can buff up, I believe, 2 times 2 slots, I believe is what that is. Okay, the second one is interesting. This is the one that I'm most excited about. So you can see 2 knives there. The first slot there, when you knife somebody, you remove all negative effects that maybe you're slowed down or poisoned or something. You remove all negative effects and you restore your health 100%. That's right. If you knife somebody, you restore your health 100% and remove all negative effects. The second one is even more interesting. The second one allows you to change appearance. So the way this works is when you kill somebody, it has to be a melee kill. You see the 2 knives there, it has to be a melee kill, so you have to knife somebody. If you're able to successfully knife somebody, you will morph or change into the appearance of the person that you just killed. Has to be knife only. Now, there was some issues in the development. I just found out, so I'm actually re-recording this part. They were going to make it so you morph the whole body, but for right now, it's just the head. So what happens is you're going to morph into the person you are that you killed with a knife. You'll appear as them. You'll appear as a friendly to the enemy. Now, as soon as you shoot or get shot, you're going to go back to your original appearance. So this is a way you could actually be running around like a stealth ninja against the enemy, and they'll have no idea that it's you because you're going to appear as the enemy. The other perk that it does, let's say you knife somebody. You're in free-for-all. When you're morphed, you don't show up on the minimap. So let's say I'm morphed and somebody has recon class. Normally with recon it shows 10 or 15 meters around on the minimap. I won't show up for that recon class, so it's actually a huge nerf for the recon class. When you're morphed, running around, you don't show up
on the minimap. Now, as soon as you shoot or get shot, then you're unmorphed and you go back to your original state, your original appearance. You show up on the minimap again. You show up as an enemy again when you're playing against somebody in, say, like VIP or team deathmatch. So that's how the morph works. You have to knife. You change appearance. Right now, it's only the head. Maybe the devs can get it fixed, so it's actually the whole body. That was the way it was originally intended. But for right now, we're moving on. This shield-looking thing, this is a shield. You have to activate it similar like you have to activate that Super Saiyan thing for Assault class where you get a little bit of extra damage and stuff. The one where you have to swipe your nade and go to that. So you have to activate it. You get a little shield. It absorbs some damage. All right, that's what that one is. The next one is a speed increase, a speed buff for strafing. A fifth one, you see this little bullet in the foot. This is peripheral, so if you get shot in the legs or the arms, any of your limbs, it's going to take a little less damage. The sixth one, this little lightning one, this one's insane. All right, the first slot is when you die, you have a chance to drop an EMP that will make all enemies show up on the minimap. Doesn't happen every time. I don't know what the probability is, so it's not going to happen every time you die. But every once in a while, when you die, you drop an EMP, and all enemies on the minimap show up for 5 seconds. The second slot, this one's insane. The second slot, you do this thing called overload. Again, there's a chance. It's not going to happen every time, but you do this thing called overload. The way overload works is you stay alive. You're dead. You can't use your primary weapon, but you have 5 seconds to kill somebody with a knife. You have 5 seconds to do melee attacks. Again, you die, you may overload, and you have 5 seconds to kill somebody with a knife. Now, if you kill somebody with a knife, remember the second perk we talked about? It removes all negative effects, and it heals you to full health. So you could actually come back to life if you successfully knife somebody. You just come back to life. It's like you never died. So that one's insane. I don't know how successful it is because most of the time you're getting killed, it's from far away. So I don't think that you'll be able to do this very often where you'll be able to actually execute a melee attack when you've been killed. Again, it's not going to happen every time. It's going to be random. I don't know what the probability is, but that's pretty insane. Moving on to the next one. This is just an update to your shield, the shield we talked about before. This shield absorbs even more damage, and if they're able to shoot through the shield, it actually kind of explodes and does damage to the enemy. And the last one, this is synergy for team play. When your teammates get a kill, you're healed for a moderate amount. This class I'm very excited about, mainly because I've never seen anything like this in a game where you can actually morph into other characters and appear as them. Also the ability to get some buffs as you kill people from their weapons. Very interesting class. Also very excited because we've got our first female character in the game. So you can rest assured, once this drops, I will be playing with Morph. And I will be showing you how she works. For now, I do want to thank GameLoft for giving me the opportunity to let you, my viewers, in on this exclusive update that's dropping sometime next week. I know there was a lot of information, rewatch. I tried to organize it as best I could because there's just so much with this class. Was on the phone with the GameLoft dev for like an hour trying to figure this class out, asking a lot of questions. So if I got any of the information wrong, don't hate me. I did as best I could. I have not played with the Morph class. This is just me talking to the devs and the information they gave me. And again, grateful for the opportunity. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this Morph X1 class? And we'll see ya in the next one. Peace.